Welcome to Group 9's presentation of the Volkswagen of America case study. Let's start with some quick facts. Volkswagen was designed by Ferdinand Porsche in Germany during the 1930s. Volkswagen of America came into existence in 1955 in New Jersey. The Volkswagen is heralded as the people's car because it is both economical and efficient. Dr. Multivic was sent to America to function as the CIO. The business units of Volkswagen of America offered more than 40 projects with a price tag of over $120 million, which was way above the budget for IT at the time. Originally, Volkswagen had a very bad view on IT. They saw it as something just to nourish at the minimal level. And that was evident in 1992 when they outsourced all IT to the Pro system. In 1999, Volkswagen started bringing IT back into the company itself through the GDAS USA system, and they also implemented some e-business units. They instituted the NGR program, which focused on building brand loyalty and improving vehicle value. They also started the BPTO portfolio system, which was a way to evaluate IT proposals, and it was based on the blueprint idea. This was an architect that looked at the long-term goals and values of the company and evaluated the proposals based on that. Based on how they implemented that, there were some critical IT services that could not be funded or implemented, and that was costly to the company. The first key issue we want to address is Volkswagen of America's view of IT. And the alternative courses of actions that we suggest is, first, we can create awareness with internal marketing campaigns. The pros of this approach are successful projects can be highlighted. Employees can be educated on the benefits of IT. There is no restructuring necessary. IT will be prioritized and can obtain more funding. Some cons to this approach are that employees may not pay attention to our campaigns, and that resources that are already limited will be wasted doing this. The second alternative is to provide management with industry examples of IT success. The pros of this approach are the efficiency of IT process can be understood with industry case studies, that small-scale projects may get immediate approval. ELT can be demonstrated with the benefits of this approach. Cons of this approach are that management still may scrap the time and money would be wasted, and the existing IT department may not have enough staff to implement this alternative. A third approach will be to replace the existing head of IT. The pros of this approach are that we could bring in someone with a proven track record of promoting IT. This could boost company morale. It could also cause new momentum and a fresh outlook in the company on IT. This new head of IT could bring IT concerns directly to high-level management. The cons of this approach are it will be hard to find potential candidates. There will be a lot of time and energy devoted in the initial learning curve to this new head of IT. And there's going to be a lot of cost and time in the candidate search. So we recommend a combination of all three alternatives. By educating employees, we decrease the tension between the business units and IT, and we increase the collaboration. By showing management industry examples, we can prove that devoting more money and resources to IT will, in the long run, increase profits. Also, by bringing in a new head of IT with a proven track record, we can increase morale in the company and IT, and he can fight for the IT department. The second key issue we want to tackle is if the new process for evaluating IT funding requests is right for Volkswagen of America. Some alternatives we offer are, first, using a service-oriented architecture approach. The pros of this approach include increased flexibility and decreased cost. It helps with achieving interoperability. It helps in increasing the speed and accuracy in making decisions. It also increases revenue and provides a new product developing environment. The cons of this approach include it takes time to educate the employees and staff about this new way of doing things. It will take months to implement, and it's very costly to implement. Another approach would be to revisit the entire prioritization process. The pros of this approach include we could identify weaknesses in our current process and build on those to make a new, better prioritization process that makes sure that it identifies and funds all business critical projects. The cons of this approach include it's resource consuming. Energy, time, money are consumed in this process. We have no guarantees that even if we do implement a new prioritization process, that all business critical projects will receive funding in the new process. and the new way of doing things may be no better than what we have in place now. A final solution would be to continue to use the new prioritization based on NRG. Pros of this approach include customer loyalty and vehicle value are given high priority. It's well structured and organized, and employees, not just IT professionals and management, are involved in the decision-making process. The cons of this approach were the supply flow project was only partially funded using this, which was an embarrassment to the company and cost them a lot of money and time. That is because they did not consider the global goals. And it concentrates on the enterprise goals and forgets about the infrastructure. So we recommend continuing to use the new prioritization based on NRG. That's because it focuses on customer loyalty, new vehicle value, and stable business structure. It does this by ensuring projects are in line with the company's values and long-term goals. It had its problems in the past, but with some minor tweaking, we think this is the best solution for Volkswagen. And the final issue which we have time to discuss is deciding which business unit projects to fund. Our first alternative is equal percentage funding to each goal portfolio. This has the pros of at least partial funding for every portfolio, which means every project can get started. Also, the tension between the business units and IT would probably be alleviated due to this parity. The cons of this approach include critical projects would not be fully funded, and valuable resources would be wasted on projects that don't need to be funded. This defeats the whole purpose of the new approach of prioritizing projects. A second approach would be to dissect each portfolio and fund only projects associated with their critical goals. The pros of this approach include funding for critical projects regardless of the priority of their portfolio. All business units should have at least one project that gets funded. Your resources are devoted to crucial projects first and foremost, so you know they will get funded. The cons of this approach include tension between IT and business units over what critical means. Some projects would never get funding because they're never deemed critical enough. Also, stovepipe applications could come into being that only work in certain business units, and it's going to take a lot of time and resources to pick apart portfolios. Another solution would be to restructure how funds are allocated between the three application types. The pros of this approach include more business unit projects could be funded and started because there would be more money for business unit projects. It would alleviate some of the tension between business units and IT. The cons of this approach include crucial projects would not be funded. There will be setbacks in the company's growth strategy, and there is the potential loss of income. Another solution would be to drop the lowest ranked goal portfolios in their entirety. The pros of this approach include more funding available to the high-ranked portfolios. The chosen projects would be fully funded. This is in alignment with the new business architecture approach, and it would offer integrated and seamless technologies that work together. The cons of this approach include some business units would have no projects funded, which could cause tension with IT. Also, some critical projects would not be funded because their portfolios are not deemed high enough in priority to receive funding. And a final problem with this solution is it requires a more sophisticated form of planning. A final solution is a slight modification of the one we just discussed. Drop the lowest ranked goal portfolios in their entirety with a method for notification of business critical projects so we can make sure these business critical projects do get funded. The pros of this approach include more funding available to high ranked portfolios. Chosen projects would be fully funded, alignment with the new business architecture approach, integrated and seamless technologies that work together, so the same ones we just talked about, but the added benefit of projects critical to business critical goals are funded. The cons of this approach. Some business units are going to end up with no projects funded, which could cause tension with IT. And they do still require a more sophisticated form of planning. We recommend dropping the lowest ranked goal portfolios in their entirety with a method for notification of business critical projects. We recommend this because it avoids stovepipe systems and instead gives us seamless and integrated technology that works together for the benefit of the company. Also, all our projects are in line with long-term goals and values of the company, and all business critical projects are funded this way. Thank you for your time.